the idea of integrity that I'm sharing with you is as Werner Erhard, a gentleman who founded Landmark Education, has created. He's written a few papers on that. And this is also trained in the Landmark Education training programs. And it's a very powerful distinction, as they call it. They call it a distinction. And integrity is a state of being whole, complete, and perfect. Your experience, my experience of being whole, complete, and perfect, that means nothing is missing, nothing is impaired, nothing needs improvement. I'm already whole, complete, and perfect. That's that state of being and one's own experience of oneself is integrity. That means I'm perfect as I am. I'm complete. There's nothing more that needs to be added. There's nothing more that needs to be taken out. And the truth of our existence is that we already are whole, complete, and perfect. That we don't need to be whole, complete, and perfect. We already are so. That's the ground on which integrity stands. Integrity is like a stand to create this experience which is missing from our life of being whole, complete, and perfect. As if that experience is not exactly available to us. No? As if I am already whole, complete, and perfect, but that experience is not available to me. So the exercises that we will take up is to actually create that experience, to resolve to create that experience to be complete with oneself, whole, complete, and perfect. In our Indian spiritual context also, they talk about Purnamadaha, Purnamidam. From completion, only completion comes out. What is complete will only yield completion. And that is not an idea which can come out of physics and chemistry or material. It is basically an idea which is about being. That when I am being, what I create is also completion. Now, integrity is a resolve to be exactly as you'd rather be. That means you create yourself deliberately exactly as you would rather be, and you refuse to disappoint yourself. That's the idea that we're integrating. So it's not that there will be no points at which we are in disagreement with that, but you have this firm resolve, and so you again and again go and stand on that firm stand to not disappoint yourself. It is like aligning yourself to the highest intent. It's like the union, coming together of yourself. Like as if, typically our thoughts, our speech, our words, our emotions, our feelings, our ambitions, and they're pulling us all in different directions. My thoughts are going in this direction. My ambition is going in this direction. My confidence is going in an altogether different direction. My feeling, my mental makeup, everything is taking me in different directions. To bring it together is integrity. So like if it's as if we were a broom and now it is bound together. That's integrity, the feeling of being whole, complete, and perfect. And there is a source, there is a simple exercise that generates that feeling, that has the potential of create that. And that exercise is to honor your word, to honor the spoken, unspoken word. So when you align what you are going to do, that means your actions behind your word. Whatever you say, you will do. Exactly as you say it, at the time that you said it, and of the quality that you had intended, or you had implied, or you had allowed to be understood by the person who's hearing. Exactly of that quality you will do it. Why? Because you are somebody who honors your word for no other reason. That's the game that we will play. That's the game that we will generate. That you will begin to play the game of honoring your word under all circumstances. Some of those words are explicit. You have spoken them to others that I will be there, say at 9 o'clock. Then at 9 o'clock, let it hail or storm or rain, you will be there at 9. That's the kind of person you are. So whatever may happen, your stand is that you live life like this, that you will not disappoint anybody. You'll not disappoint your word. No reason can cause you to dishonor your word. That's your unreasonable stand. That means, now typically when we look at be reasonable, when we look at a word reasonable, what shows up? A reasonable life. What words come to your mind to explain reasonable life? Average, mean, least minimum life. That no dissonance. Nobody sticks out like a sore thumb that you are doing something extraordinary. So perhaps reasonableness is exact opposite of being extraordinary. Don't get pointed out for something out of the ordinary. And that's actually exact opposite of that is what the game we are going to play. That means to be reasonable, we are creating a new definition. As Werner has created a brand new definition. He says being reasonable is like when you are following reasons, when you are letting reasons go in your life. I will be there at 9 o'clock if heavens don't fall. If it doesn't rain, if I catch the train in time, if I'm able to wake up on time, if I don't have any days of work, if my boss doesn't call me, that's reasonable. I will go to do exercise provided nothing else comes in the way. I will do this provided. I'll do this of the quality provided. Whatever may come from that is a reasonable way of living. And what this conversation is an invitation is to be unreasonable. And the way that we are going to look at unreasonable is not willing to accept a reason. I do exactly what I say I would, what I intended I would, and if I have allowed you to think that I would do something without explicitly clarifying that I'll not be able to do it, then that's my stand too. But there may be a time when I'm not able to do it exactly like that. Like, for example, I give you a time that I'll meet at, say, 9 o'clock, but I'm not able to be there at 9 o'clock. I will fight with my life to be there at 9 o'clock. That's the commitment that I have. But suppose I'm not able to get there. Now, the first thing to do is to take responsibility for it, that I was not there. There was no reason which was making it happen. I could have started a few minutes earlier. So the first thing to do it is to be the reason. Remember the conversation earlier. I am the reason that I'm late. That's the first point. The second thing is that I am responsible for whatever it caused you. It caused you some inconvenience. It caused you some pain. There are some cost to it. You were emotionally disappointed with how I showed up, whether it is shabby or whether it was late. So I'm taking ownership of what impact it has on your life, and I'll clean it up. Which means if I was a tailor and I was stitching something for you, not only will I stitch by the next due date that I now create, I will also compensate you. In the next job that you give me, I'll give you a 50% discount, and I'll give you completely for free because I'm ready to clean up and take full responsibility for it. So it involves cleaning up. So it involves that you are fully present to the full impact of breach in integrity. But integrity has nothing to do with guilt. We don't create moral version of integrity. Should be having integrity. That's not what we are in the business of. So that landmark, what they create is it's not your. You are not better if you're not great if you have integrity. It's not your duty to have integrity. It's not moral duty, or it's not. But it is what you have or you don't have. It's just that integrity. So breach in integrity is just breach in integrity. Off integrity is just off integrity. You see, typically we play the game wherein we keep brushing off breach in integrity under the carpet all along our lives, right? I thought I'll wake up at 6, but I woke up at 6:15 or 6:30. Breach in integrity. But at the same time, it's all right, right? But it has a great impact on the original definition. Remember, integrity is the feeling, is the experience of oneself being whole, complete, and perfect. That is what gets affected. My own experience of myself gets impacted. That's what we are in the business of correcting. You see, if I again and again experience myself not doing what I myself intended to do, then I will not even create new commitments. And even if I do create new commitment, that commitment is weak. I can see that I don't do it. So I already know that I will try my best. Now you can see the weakness of try. We don't want any trying business between us. In the game that we play in life is not trying anymore. We don't want to try. It's better not to do. I'll try to be there at this time. It's better not to be there at all. I'll be there or I'll not be there. That's the way that we play the game. Because that's the person that you are. Not for any other reason. Not that it makes you a great person. It doesn't make you a great person. It does not make you a great person. And just removing that moral aspect from it. Because there will never be any time when we will have impeccable integrity. It's a mountain with no top. We'll keep on climbing, improving, but it'll never get perfect. The game is that I am in the business of catching off integrity. That's the time to be celebrated. Oh, I caught myself off integrity. That's the time to be celebrated, not the other way around. We celebrate when we have great integrity. We are now in the business of celebrating when we are not in great integrity so that we can create integrity. That's the opportunity. And so we have to be really happy that we are able to catch it. So when I did not do the job that I was in at the time that I was intending to do, or the job that I was intending to do, then I take full responsibility for it. I communicate. The first thing is I completely communicate that I'm not going to be able to do it. I take ownership of the impact and I cover up for it. I make up for it. And then I create a fresh integrity. I give a fresh commitment that by this date it will be done. And now I'll be there on time. And the same thing also happens if I am dealing with myself. If I am off integrity, I take full responsibility of the impact that it has had with me. I take full ownership of it. I am fully present to what it has caused me, how it has impacted me, what it has lost. And then I create a fresh version of that integrity. So, and what magically becomes available when you play this game with yourself is self-belief. This is the game which will directly yield self-belief. You start playing the word of honoring your word. Notice that the definition is not saying that you keep your word. It's saying honoring your word. So when you honor somebody, what do? Yeah, you revere the person. He's at a pedestal. You are not taking him lightly. You are giving him respect, and you're giving him the reverence and the platform and listening. So you are aware about what the person is demanding at that moment. You're not neglecting that person. That's the relationship you have with your word. That you don't let words come out of your mouth which you didn't mean. Automatically you begin to be watchful of what comes out. So I'm not saying that we speak, we do stop talking, but we talk and we are cautious of not communicating casually and meaninglessly something that we had no intention of keeping. That our relationship with the word transforms. That when at the time of making a commitment, you are saying you will do the best that you could, best that you can, then what is the level of commitment that is available to you in your first-hand experience of saying so? Is it 100% or is it like 99.99%, which is that a balloon is good, but it's got a puncture? It's like gravity. This rule of integrity is like gravity. If we drop an apple, it will go down. If I jump from the balcony, I'm going to go splat. It doesn't mean if I understand the laws of gravity or not. It doesn't care. It also doesn't matter how I'm dressed or how educated I am or how intelligent or spiritually accomplished I am. If I jump from the balcony, I'm going to go splat. The law of gravity does not care for who I am, and it's going to be true every time when I jump from the balcony. Similarly, there are certain laws, and Werner says this is the law that governs performance. Without integrity, things don't work. Period. So you may have a great electrical circuit. Test a circuit by checking its integrity. That means, is the current passing through? If it's great circuit, but there's a discontinuity somewhere, it's useless circuit. If you've got a bicycle wheel which has one spoke broken, It's not working. So things don't work without integrity. Relationships won't work without integrity. So when I'm in the institution of marriage, it demands something. It could be loyalty, it could be listening, it could be care, you know. But without that, whatever that institution demands, that relationship won't work. Similarly, when I'm in the institution of a work or a job, it has certain rules, a certain set of governing principles, which are just declared or undeclared rules, norms. But without that, there is no chance that I'll succeed there. That means I have to be there on time. However, resistance I keep giving internally, if I'm not there, it won't work. Respecting boss, playing with the boss in the fashion in which the boss is demanding it, without that, it won't work. Similarly, there are certain norms of the society, like I won't steal, I won't kill, or I won't start fighting on the road. Things won't work if I don't play that. There are games of spirituality and fitness. Wherever there is integrity, things will work. Wherever there is no integrity, things won't work. If I'm not doing exercise regularly, or something, if there is a breach there, then it will impact me. Things won't work. So integrity is a principle like gravity. Either you have it or you don't, and if you don't, then things won't work. It'll be fantastic. But we have a relationship with integrity as if without integrity, also life can work. We have that relationship with integrity. 90% I did know. Why don't I still get a promotion? I'm doing exercise sometimes at least, then why am I falling sick? Or in my relationship with my wife, I was loyal mostly, except a few exceptions. And why is she leaving? So that's the game. It's about being aware that when you have integrity, then the thing will work. It's like transforming the relationship with how I play the games in my life, whichever game it might be. The relationship with your to-do list, you said integrity list, is that it will get done. If it has found itself in the list, and I'll maybe make two types of list. Make a list which it will be done. And then don't go to sleep if it hasn't got done. Being unreasonable is like being willing to do what is impossible. I have had, there was a person who I know of, who had a slip disc and led an entire training session for an entire day, horizontal, lying down, because he was talking about integrity. I gave my word. If I've given a word, it will get done. That's the way that they play it in Landmark. I mean, if you've given a word, or you say that, okay, I'm in the breach of integrity right now. You see, one more thing becomes to open up. Right now, the lowest form of integrity is perhaps bringing perfect order on my table and in my life. Everything has its place, nothing is broken, and I find that everything is complete. That's lowest level, or perhaps keeping everything clean and orderly and workable. The next level is play by rules. That means that I'm following the rules of the game. Of coaching, there are certain rules to keep things confidential between us, to honor each other with time, and to play the game by rule. When you say X time, it will be done. You are making payments exactly at time. I am showing up exactly at time. I will provide the support in the fashion which I've promised you, and you will give me the respect and presence in the way that you have committed games of the game. Now, that's the second level. Third level of the game is when you are doing this in your life everywhere. Final level of the game is when you transform your relationship with yourself, that I am my word. I'm nothing but my word. I will follow my word. You see, what you will discover as you continue to make the journey, and maybe if you were to take up the Landmark Forum training, what shows up ultimately is the life is empty and meaningless, and you yourself are quite empty and meaningless. So it's nothing. In that nothing, you are your word. Just by saying that you are creating a possibility of great relationship with your parents, you create it. And what happens is that your feelings, your emotions, your body begins to follow your word. Because nothing else comes in. It becomes a habit that When you say something, it gets done. Nothing else comes in the way. People in your life know that they will be setting aside when you have given a commitment, and your own body does not come in the way. You don't feel tired at that time because you know nothing will come. You won't be paying attention to tiredness. It might as well not come in the way. That's the way it starts happening. Your health starts improving. Ultimately, you yourself you make promises which you had not dreamt of making earlier. So what did I say so far? I said integrity is the experience of being whole, complete, and perfect. Yeah. How to create that experience is to honor your word. But the third part is it must happen in a empowering context. That means it must create empowerment for you. It cannot be that I didn't say I'll do it, so I'll not do it. I'll tell you upfront only, I'll not do this also, I'll not do that also, I'll not do this also, I'll not do that also. So that's not empowering. It must create an empowering context. That means I am expressing life exactly as I would like to express, boldly. It creates an empowering context. That's integrity. So you start with really small games. The kind of games even a donkey can play. That's how, one of the forum leaders talks about it. He says, like, for example, as soon as I get up, I'll say I'm brilliant. It's a beautiful day. Or you will thank the universe or whatever you've got. Just a simple game. But you are not ready to play the game 99% of the days. Even a dog, you will follow it completely. You will not get off your bed. That means you'll not put your feet on the ground till you've done that. Simple 3 games. Creates 3 simplest of games. Very simple games. But for a month, show yourself that you will not deviate from them. Ultimately, you will be making commitment you have no idea how you will be keeping. You will tell the person that I'll be there. You know what I tell my family. A few years back we were posted all at different locations. Raghav, my son, was in Hyderabad. My wife is in Paris right now. My daughter is in London. Right. So I have this relationship with them that I told them, you need to just tell me you feel like having me in station. Just tell me that you feel like it. You want me there? No reason. I will leave everything and be there. Now, there was a time that I didn't feel like making this commitment. What if my work is asking for me at that time? And being unreasonable is that I will not do 50% at work. I will not do 50% in office. I will do 100% at both places. How? I will deal with that. I am the cause in the matter. I will deal it. I will make it happen both places. So I have given them this commitment. I stated commitment. You tell me you need me, I'll be there. And I've also demand that same with them. You know what happens with integrity is if you don't have integrity, then you let other people also don't have integrity. You don't ask me, I'll not trouble you. If you are playing the game of integrity, it will show up in your demand for integrity from other people. That's the measure of also you're playing with integrity. The game of integrity. If you are having integrity, that only then you can demand it. Otherwise, others will start demanding. No, if you're demanding of them, they will say, "You don't do this. Why are you telling me?" The way to check integrity is also what is hidden. What's hidden in my life? What am I hiding? What am I not confronting? What am I not saying to the person in front of me? So another thing that happens with integrity is gravitas, and that's the topic that I've written about here. You see, sometimes we feel that we are saying something, people are not honoring it, respecting it enough. Question is, am I honoring what's coming out of my mouth first? If I honor what is coming out of my mouth, I will not waste it on a person who's not listening. And if I learn to honor my words, then I give them respect. I put them together in a fashion in which it will reach the other person. And I take the responsibility that you get it. And I'm not just happy broadcasting in thin air. Okay, I said it whether anybody got it or not. I'm actually in the game of people getting it. You get it completely. And I'm not saying you understand it. I'm saying, do you get the impact of it? Do you get the essence of it? Do you get completely everything that it contained and the world from which I was delivering it? Do you get that? That's what I must stand for. That's the game of integrity. You begin to take stands. And when you begin to take that kind of stand for your words, then other people follow you, period. They don't know why they are following you. They can't see why they are listening to you so carefully, because you are somebody who does honor your word. And if I was to say the complete thing, you honor yourself as somebody who honors her word. So other people honor you. And that's the source of authenticity. When you're same inside, same out, you're being yourself, you're not ready to compromise on who you would rather be. So you know who you would rather be. Why not be that? I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about, work. I'm talking about being that here and now. So be that person here and now. Live life fully, completely. That's the idea of integrity. Keep a log of when you can celebrate that you are off integrity. If you can catch yourself, that's the beginning. You will not be able to catch yourself off integrity. You will notice that the first few days that you're always in integrity. If you are always in integrity, then there are multiple possibilities. One is that you don't even notice it, which is in our case, it always happens. Most of us don't notice it. Another possibility is we are not making commitments which will make an impact on our life. We are living a life in reasonable, average, low key. There's nothing bold and beautiful about it, which is elegant, which is not it's not a powerful self-expression of who we would rather be. Right? So that's the other alternative that we need to keep an eye on. That's the game that we are introducing now.